Hey, everybody. It's Jonathan. I want to thank you for checking out my broadcast today. How's everybody doing today? How your diet's going? If you haven't started a diet, are you getting one started? Are you looking to get going? What do you got going? What are you planning on doing? Love to hear how everybody else's diets are going. Today is day 33 of my 3-year challenge to break my food addiction and to get my to improve my overall health and wellness. Hey Jen, how you doing this morning or this afternoon? I'm sorry, I don't know why I said this morning. Um, so yeah, it's day 33 to break my food addiction. I started the challenge here because I had got myself to a point where I was at 519.8 pounds. I was probably heavier than that at some point. But by the time I started this challenge, that's where I was. And I started off with an extended fast that I have uh, planned on doing it for 30 days. And once I hit the 30 days, and I kind of knew during the time, but I felt pretty good about how everything's going. And so I've extended it, and I'm going to go till 40 days. Um, now that I have an idea of what I'm going to do for the time period after I fast, it's getting a little bit tougher, but I am excited now that I have more of a plan. I think that throughout the 30 days, I may have kind of been avoiding making a plan so that I could continue to or have an excuse to go past the 30. Because what's happened in the past is that I've done well with hitting my goals, and I've hit fasting goals in the past, whether it's a 7 or 10 or this 30-day. And every time I've reached my goal, I felt like I could go on, but a lot of times out of fear, I have decided to start eating again. Just, even though I didn't necessarily feel like I had to start eating again. And so uh, this one I kind of was, I had always planned on, it being 30, but I had always hoped that I was going to go past the 30, I guess is what I'm trying to say there. Um, and I know what I'm doing here for the next month after I fast and I break my fast probably isn't going to be what I do forever, but it's going, I believe it's going to be the next best step. And every time I broke the fast, I regretted it. And a lot of it's because you have to go through those first few days again, which are the toughest. But once you get all of the stuff out of your body, like the caffeine and the sugars and a lot of those things, yeah, I have not seen that fat, sick, and nearly dead with a juice fast. Um, I may look at doing a juice fast down the line. I mean, I have 3 years to figure out what I'm going to do. I really liked the water fast here. I like how I felt about the water fast, and when I'm eating, I'm gonna eat, you know, uh, and do not a lot. I mean, I probably have some juicing, but I think my sister or Jen had done a juice fast in the past. I know she talked about, and I'm not. I know she did well losing weight with that as well, and I've seen other people that have talked about that. But I'll have to check out. My wife might have seen that fat, sick, and nearly dead as well. I'll ask her about it. Um, the and I've been talking about it here. I've had kind of ideas of trying to go and doing like a super long fast. I mean, there's multiple people you can find online that have done um, fast for 50 or even up to 100 or 100 plus days. And the it I'm seeing the weight loss in the scale, and I'm loving seeing the weight loss I'm seeing. and it's kind of easy to get into, why change what I'm doing, or if I can keep doing it to keep doing it. But I do think that I the longer I'm fasting, the more I am like the more I'm succeeding at losing weight, but I'm also pushing back, like getting better, what I need to be doing at some point. I need to be retraining my body to accept better foods or different foods. And so that's another part of the reason that I'm definitely going to break the fast here. The only uh, thing that might come up or might happen is that if I fast for 40 days, it ends up with the daylight savings thing. If I go to the time, it ends up being 960 hours, and to me that's almost too close to 1,000 not to just do the additional day and a half. So I'm probably going to fast for 1,000 hours. Um, and so it'll be like 41 days and some change. But then actually it'll put me in a position where I would actually be eating dinner and have a meal before bed. So probably going to do 1,000 hours. So it's going to be a little bit over 41 days. But I am definitely breaking the fast at that point. Um, One of the things that, with the diet I've chosen, my wife is very excited about trying some of these things, and so she's preparing. Such an overachiever. She's preparing lots of foods that are going to be things that we are going to be eating, and they do look really good. They're not what I would traditionally eat, but I am getting excited about having those foods in the house because I see them as a means to getting better and getting past this food addiction, which I'm really accepting more and more as I do this challenge, that how much of an addiction it truly was in how many areas of my life that it reached. Um I was gonna talk you guys. Anybody have any non-scale victories that they've had over the last few days, or if you're watching this down the line, love to hear anybody's non-scale victories. I'm about a month in. Uh, for me, I guess one of the non-scale victories that I was gonna share today, I guess yesterday's non-scale victory, I didn't talk, I showed, but my outfit was definitely a non-scale victory. Today's my son, we were doing something and we got talking about push-ups, and I did lots of athletics in high school and I've done my fair share of push-ups, and so he was trying to do them and he was having a hard time. And it's something that as a dad I should be able to do no problem, but to get down and just do a couple push-ups is not easy, uh not only physically because of the strength required, but also there's a lot of stomach. And even doing it today, I was joking that even at full extension my belly is probably still going to be touching the ground. But I did uh knock out about 4 push-ups before I was like, that's good enough to show you what you need to know. And so I'll probably start trying to do some more of those little things, get to a point where I can do like 10 good push-ups in a row. And yeah, that's awesome. Awesome Pigeon TV says they went out with a 2X shirt today. First time since they were about 15. That's awesome. I know you said before you were down about 97 pounds. You still doing good on that? That's awesome. Yeah, I haven't been in a 2X shirt in a very long time. It would be pretty awesome to get into one of those. I know a lot of my goal shirts are even are 3X shirts, because I've never given myself a goal as strict as, as low a weight, I guess. I don't know. And I don't know why I'm spacing on 103. That's awesome. That's like 6 pounds, and since you updated, then that's really great. And uh, you just watching your calories, or what are you doing? I don't know. Just share that with everybody. Maybe we can pick it up. But the um the push-ups I was talking about, and the non-scale victories. Oh, the lowest I've ever been, like, I'm gonna get to 275, I think, and that's kind of been a thing since high school. That was what the heavyweight weight limit was, and so I was always kind of like, through high school, I was at that weight limit. Like, that was my barrier, was whether or not I would still qualify to wrestle. So I was always hovering around that. So for me to have a goal of 220 pounds, that is far lighter than I've had, and so I'm definitely going to have to pick up some new clothes when I get to that point. Um, and then any other non-scale victories? I guess the other only one was yeah, I did that. That was what I did about 7 years ago. Was that 600 calories, and it worked great. It's great for losing weight, and I did lose a lot of weight, and it sounds like you're doing good at that. Uh, it's once you get to your goal, it's having you need, I'm sure you've thought about it for a while if you've been working on it, but having a goal once you hit your desired weight is gonna be what is gonna help there, because that's where I failed. I hit that goal, and really it was probably for 2 or 3 months easy. I didn't have to do anything, and my weight stayed the same. Probably I didn't ever get on the scale once I started eating junk again, but my body was in a mode to burn that, and so then it took a few months and then slowly crept up. But it was very much that I had a plan to lose the weight, but not a plan after the fact. And so I'm excited for you, and I hope that you have a lot of success here going forward. The other non-scale victory was just being more helpful out around the house. I noticed, I'll kind of talk about that actually more a little bit later, and we're going to talk about some food addiction stuff. And if you guys have any areas where your food addiction flares up, or you kind of think like it's getting in your way, or something you've noticed in it, love to hear you share that, and we can talk about it too. Just feel like sharing this stuff. It's, if it's happening to me, I'm sure it's happening to multiple people out there, and so I'd love to hear it. I haven't done my weigh in yet. I did weigh in. I'm back to wearing the gray shirt, so figured I would get that done today. It'd been a couple days. I was 443.8 the other day when I weighed in. That was 2 days ago. And then today, recording now, and we'll pull this up here. Great. So today's weigh-in is going to put me at 442 pounds even. So that is a 1.8 pound weight loss since yesterday. And that puts me at a total loss of 77.8 pounds. Awesome. I'm so happy to see the weight loss. I knew that it was not going to be as great because I had a huge weight loss day there prior, like 3 pounds in a day, which was unexpected. But 0.9 of a pound each day is great. So that's 442. With the million calorie challenge, what that does is I was at 266. It adds 6,300 to that. So the million calorie, I'm at 272,300. So that is slowly climbing up, and I knew that was going to be, uh, yeah, the pictures yesterday, um, with the side by side was really crazy. Like my frontal pictures, I think I put on Instagram. I might have put the front. I don't know if I published the front. Anyway, the front one didn't look bad. I had a three or so together, but the side by side, my stomach is amazing how much thinner my stomach feels, and really it's a lot. I can feel like it was there's a lot of stuff that's happening like deep inside my stomach that's losing fat, I guess, for lack of a better, because like I still feel a lot of fat, and I've always had a fat tire, I guess is what I'd call it, around my midsection. Um, but yeah, my stomach, especially when I was up at 520 pounds, it was very bloated. And it made getting around difficult. I mean, just being able to reach down and scratch the back of my leg or easier, just little things. Putting socks and shoes on, those are things that gut swelling going down has made a huge difference. Um, and so the thing with the food addiction, I've talked about a little bit about, the um, seeing triggers and stuff like that, but um, a lot of times, like mood can be, or things that get you upset, or and I wouldn't say it's a thing that's even happened. It's the I mentioned that I was more helpful around the house, which is a non-scale victory. But uh, there's also kind of a weird thing where like I have to admit to myself that the me only a month ago now too, or 2 months ago, was not maybe as helpful as I felt like I was being around the house. And so you kind of have, I don't know if it's a resentment of your not so distant past self, or it's one of those things where like I feel bad about it, but at the same time like uh I hate getting called out about it too, and it's something that it was me and my wife talked about in the past, because I've had periods of time where I've lost weight, and while I've lost the weight, or during the weight loss, my productivity does go up around the house, and then as you're putting the weight on, it slowly gets less and less, and you don't realize it. Um, and then you're not getting called out for it, because your wife or spouse loves you, and then when now that I'm losing weight and I'm doing those things, and I'm kind of like, man, I should have been, and it's simple things too, like helping put dinner away or getting the dishes, stuff that uh and so I guess I would relate it, I don't know, to food addiction, is that like those emotions cause triggers that make me want to go eat, you know and I'm not, I mean, that I don't know, that's not necessarily as strong this time as it has been in the past as far as to go eat, but it's just something where I don't know if you guys have things that aren't necessarily, food specific things, but things that cause you, the emotional eating, if it's the, that shouldn't cause it. But it's also my success is causing it too, which is even weirder. um, is that I'm succeeding at the weight loss, but then I'm having this weird uh, kind of feelings about myself, even though it's not me anymore because I'm a new person now a month later, right? Completely different person. But I'm trying to be a different person. Um so yeah, I was gonna pull up, I noticed that this went blank now. I was gonna pull up the fasting app here just to show where I was hours wise on that. Do that real quick because I am at 785 hours and 25 minutes fasted. Like I said, I think I'm going to push that up to the 1,000. That's kind of, I like to round these things off, like the million calorie challenge and the 3 years, kind of what that comes from. I've mentioned it maybe once in the past. Was I used to go to a wrestling camp, and one of the wrestling directors would always yell at us when we'd be doing drills, and everybody would be kind of sick of doing drills. He'd always yell, "You got to do it 1,000 times. You got to do it 1,000 times. You get to the back of the brain stem, and so you're not going to learn anything unless you do it 1,000 times." And so I figure if I do 1,000 days, then eventually I'll train my brain to do the right thing instead of the super value meal times two. Yeah, anger eating. Yeah, it's it is one of those things where I think that identifying those things and calling them out in yourselves, or even trying to be accountable for those things, I think help with the process too. It's at least it's helped me being more accountable, and doing these videos absolutely has helped me get through this first 33 days, knowing that I'm going to come and I'm going to, put myself out here. And so I guess you don't have to do it like this. You don't have to go, to this level, but maybe announce it to your family or your friends or some close ones, or announce it on here and we can hold you accountable. But um the number of times I've been on 4-day diets or 6-day diets that I never told anybody about, I mean, the reason why that number is in the whatever it is, dozens and dozens, is because I was not accountable to anybody. I didn't have to tell anybody that I was breaking my diet, and so it didn't matter that I was on a 4-day thing. That I spent 4 days cutting something out, and finally I could feel better about something. Oh, let's go celebrate feeling better, and then you know you just restart the cycle. But pretty excited about where I'm at today. The 77 pounds down, 33 days. Gonna be back on again tomorrow. I'll be off over the weekend here. And then I should be back on Monday, which gets me pretty close to the end of this fast. I didn't look at the calendar here, but I think it ends up being 1,000 hours puts me like eating dinner on Saturday. So I'll have to figure out what I'm going to or I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to do that. I might take a photo and throw that up on my Instagram, which is at fasting. That is FAHSTING. Yeah, I mean, that's, yes, celebrations in at least where I live, how I grew up. You can't have a celebration without food. So how do you celebrate without food? Maybe you guys can leave that in the comments and we can talk about that on a future podcast. How do you celebrate all these victories without food? And I would love to hear your suggestions on that. So I am going to sign off here today and get home. But I really appreciate everybody for checking out the broadcast today. Again, I hope your diets are going well. I wish you success until tomorrow when I see you again and you can tell me about how your diets are going. I want to thank everybody for the comments today. It really helps kind of move things along. And I'm really excited about finishing this fast. Less than 10 days. Awesome. You guys all have a great day.